Hi guys, in this class we will discuss about a CSS pseudo element, how it works in the CSS, how you can use pseudo element to design HTML element content. So the element used to style a part of element content. So a part of content you can apply different type of style on that part of the content. For example, you have a paragraph. How are you? For example, this is a paragraph and you want to apply a style on this h. So this is a part of element content. If you want to apply a style on this h, first letter of this word or this content, for example its font size, color, background color, everything else you want to uh, adjust this h, you have to use pseudo element. Or if you want to, so for example there are a many paragraph, for example a paragraph which have 4 line, 5 line. If you want to design only first line of paragraph, you can use pseudo element. For example, first letter of the content, first line of the content, first character of the content, that is a same thing. Another is a before or after the content, element content. So its syntax is that you can see that this is a syntax 2 time colon. You have to put after a selector, and then you have to write pseudo element, which pseudo element you want to use. First letter of the content, after, before, first line of the any CSS selector. You can mention here. I will discuss all the pseudo element with you. And then you have to mention property name, which property you want to apply. For example, color, background, and at that value you have to mention here. So these are different example: after, before, first letter, first line, selection, placeholder. So there are different types of pseudo element we will discuss in the notepad. In the notepad you can see that this title is created Css Pseudo Element, and file is saved with the pseudo element.html. And in the body section you can see that h1 element is written. So I open this file in the browser. Pseudo element, you can see that this file is open in the browser, and this is a how are you, a h1 heading. So I want to use now pseudo element. Basically these are selector. So you know that there are 4 types of selector. One is a simple selector, I have discussed in the first chapter. Combinator selector I also discussed in the first chapter. Pseudo class selector I have to discuss with you, and attribute selector I have already discussed in the first chapter. And now I am discussing pseudo element selector. So for example, first letter, if you want to apply style on the first letter of h1, you have to use this selector. So you have to use 2 time colon, then first letter. So this is a pseudo element. And the curly braces, I want to apply style color yellow. So it's I have to use h1. H1 is a selector. So when I refresh, this is a first letter, first character will be changed to yellow color. You can see that its color is changed because I mentioned here first letter. I can also provide more thing. For example, font size 100 pixel, and when I refresh you can see that its size increased to 100. So I can also use the first line. For example, I used a paragraph. How are you? I have to copy and paste to increase length. When I refresh browser you can see that. And now what I have to do, I have to use now first line pseudo element. Now I want to target a paragraph and mention this pseudo element. First line first line of the paragraph, because this here is a P selector. P means paragraph. First line of the paragraph should be applied this style. For example, color should be blue, and that color, background color, should be a for example black. So when I refresh, you can see that first line of the paragraph, because I mentioned here a first line of the paragraph should be changed according to this coloring. So another is a selection. Selection means when I select, you can see that by default its background color is blue like, and its color, font color is white. So I can also use the selection pseudo element to change this by default setting. So when I use this pseudo element on the paragraph, I have to use this. When I select any paragraph, so its setting will be changed. For example, color should be for example white, and background color should be a black. When I refresh, you can see that when I select anything else, you can see that its by default setting is changed. I can also use more. When I change yellow, refresh, when I select, you can see that its color is changed to yellow. So in this way you can use. Another is a placeholder, and you can see that this is a form, and I remove this code from the comments, and when I refresh, you can see that this form elements are displaying here. These are the input field, and here you can see that first name, last name in the box. These are the placeholder. Give the hint what you have to do, which type of or in which format you have to insert data in the input box. You can also design these placeholder using pseudo element. You have to select pseudo element placeholder, and I have to use here, and I want to change placeholder color, for example yellow. And when I refresh, you can see that their placeholder color is changed. I want to use to blue. When I refresh, you can see that. So in this way you can use their style. You can provide different style. So these are the after and before, how it works. So I used this on the h1. For h1 we have to use a before. So when I use before, you have to use a content as a attribute or property, and then you have to provide some value. For example, before the h1, you have to use a equal sign, and I save this file. When I refresh, sorry, you have to use a colon. It will be a colon. You can see that before the h1. Now before the h1, now its first letter is B, not H. That is why is style on the B, not H, because now H is not first letter is a B. And when you used a B pseudo element text, when you provide a text to the content, that text will be added or will be appended before the element. When I used here P, so this content will be added before the paragraph, when anywhere paragraph existing. So this is a paragraph, so text will be display before this H. When I refresh, you can see that before the because when I change to white, you will see properly. When I refresh, you can see that before the h1, you can see that because it is displaying because I use this pseudo element before the paragraph. And when I refresh, when I create another paragraph, you will see that that content will be added placed before this paragraph also. Second paragraph, so that text should be placed, that paragraph you can see it before the p and second paragraph. When any other paragraph I used, it will also detect that paragraph also. You can also target any specific paragraph. For example, you want that before content should be applied on this one by for example, I used a id attribute. I have to target, I want to make specific para. It did not now before will work with this paragraph specific, which have a id attribute para, a value of the id. When you refresh, it will remove from this one, and it will place on only this paragraph because it have a para id. You can see that I make this a specific. So another is a after. When I used a after pseudo element, this will be added after the paragraph. You can see that before the p, and when I used here write a after, and I used a before and after, copy and paste. When I refresh, you can see the before the p, after the p, and you can use these pseudo element in this order. So I think each and everything is cleared. Any question you can ask without any hesitation. Anyhow, if you have any question, any problem, you can discuss with me without any hesitation. Thank you.